Okay. Hello, this is Alec Kerr, the film critic for the Conway Daily Sun, with
Nikki Martinez from Magic 104.5.
And we are going to discuss DreamWorks' latest animated feature, Aliens vs. Monsters, or is it the other way around?
Monsters vs. Aliens.
Other way around.
Yeah.
Because the monsters win.
Yes.
I just ruined the movie.
Good job.
That's okay.
Okay.
And it has perhaps one of the best comedic casts, voiceover or live action, in recent years. You have Reese Witherspoon, Seth Rogen, Will Arnett, Hugh Laurie, Stephen Colbert as the president,
Kiefer
Sutherland, although it's not really comedic, but he's funny here. And then in smaller roles, like we're talking bit roles, you even have Amy Poehler, Renee Zellweger, and John Krasinski. So we got a big cast here. And because of all that comedic power, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought that there should have been a lot more laughs in the movie considering the power that was in this cast. I couldn't help but think that they should have taken the approach that was used for Surf Up, where they just had all the cast in a room together and just had them improvise. Because I could just only imagine what would have happened if you had Hugh Laurie, Will Arnett, Seth Rogen, and all them improvising together. And there was like a half a dozen writers on this, and it just didn't seem like it was that funny. I'm sorry. I mean, there were great bits, like, you know, Seth Rogen's Bob. Seth was fantastic, and him hitting on a gelatin mold was fantastic.
So good.
And there was also a great little parody of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Instead of the little music communication thing, there's a song from a certain 80s movie. Don't want to give it away, but it's good. And
I think the performance of it was
great.
And
there are other subtle little music cues in there. Like there's missiles that say "Go home, you E.T." and they have a little bit of the E.T. score in the background.
Yeah.
And there's an instrumental version of a B-52 song, "A Planet Claire," which then comes over on the credits at the end of the movie. Don't know how many people are going to notice that, but it was those little gags that kind of worked for me.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's not bad. I just wanted more. Just given the talent that was in it, I wanted to be laughing hysterically the whole way through, and I wasn't. I was laughing maybe out loud, maybe every 5 minutes.
See, I would have to disagree with you on this. I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe because I just all in all love every like comedy, from even the stupidest stupid thing you could possibly think of to like some of the more like British comedies, so the more like intellectual ones, as you could say. But I found myself laughing thoroughly throughout almost the whole entire movie. But I think it was also because I
also had the disadvantage of seeing it in an empty theater.
Oh, and see, and I had the advantage of having seen it with one of my friends. And there was a couple of people in there. Not a lot, but yeah, a couple of people. But I think it's one of those films that it does help if you have either other people with you, like personally or around you, because you can kind of feed off their laughter, which helps with any comedy, I think.
Absolutely.
But I found myself laughing almost the whole entire time. But that's just me. And
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I just think in the last few years, especially with what Pixar has been doing, the level of quality animation has just been stepped up a few notches, and this isn't anywhere near the level of anything Pixar has put out. I wouldn't even say it's on level of DreamWorks' better stuff, like Shrek, Shrek 2, and Kung Fu Panda last year.
I don't know. I would have to disagree. I think it's up there with, probably not as high as Shrek, because Shrek is Shrek.
Right.
I mean, it's coming out with a fourth one, I believe, which is crazy, but anyways. That's a whole different story. But it's not up there with Shrek, but I would have to say it's probably up there with Kung Fu Panda. I mean, Kung Fu Panda was hilarious, I saw it by myself, and I was so
I thought with Kung Fu Panda that there was sequences in there that were really compelling and exciting action-wise, and I thought the action scenes in this were kind of generic and didn't really, like, there were a lot of scenes in Kung Fu Panda where I was just kind of like in awe of the way they looked, and I didn't have that feel here. I do have to agree with you on that point. Like, there was some of the animation that they could have tweaked a little bit better. Like, I don't know, it was lacking of some of the color that they could have explored with these characters, because I mean, they're monsters. I mean, the aliens, you could do something to them as well. Right. Oh, we forgot. Rainn Wilson.
Yeah. Oh, I
as the villain.
As the villain, which he did a perfect villain, by the way.
He was good.
But the color was, going back to the color.
Right.
The color was a little bit lacking in some of these monster characters that are.
And, that was my thing. I thought, with the exception of Reese Witherspoon's Susan or
Ginormica.
As the government,
Susan.
and the premise of this, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yes.
In the title is that the government has captured all these monsters and kept them secret, and now aliens are invading, so it's time to get them out. So. I don't know, this was another problem I had with it. It seemed a little too derivative. There was a speech in there that was almost verbatim from Men in Black.
Which one?
Just when Susan's being introduced to... and it just seemed vaguely familiar.
Just a little. But I didn't catch on that until now. Now that I think about it.
And a lot of it just kind of made me think of Monsters, Inc.,
I don't know. I think...
I actually had a friend who saw the trailer, and he was kind of disappointed because when he just saw the name of it, he was like, "Oh, it's going to be like Monsters Inc. Monsters versus aliens." And
that's what I thought.
Right, and that sounded so much more exciting.
Oh, I was going to be super excited, but then it wasn't that because also Monsters Inc. is Pixar, so.
But I would recommend it for people to check out. I was just a little disappointed. Bob is fabulous. I adore Bob.
Bob's my favorite character, but it's Seth Rogen also.
It's Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen cannot do wrong right now that is.
Right now. And he's been doing great voice work, whether it was in Horton Hears a Who, or Kung Fu Panda, or even the Spiderwick Chronicles, where he was probably, him and Martin Short were the only two things worth even seeing in that movie.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
But anyway...
I would highly recommend it because especially for the younger crowd, but even adults. I enjoyed it as an adult. I don't have kids, and I loved it. And there was some underlying humor, a lot of these animated films nowadays. A lot of whether it's DreamWorks or Pixar they have some of those undertone humor the adult crowd is only going to get kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend it.
And I would kind of just mildly recommend it.
Okay. See, we're gonna disagree. We recommend it, but on different levels.
Different levels. Yeah. Different levels.
But you, I guess, make your own choice.
Yeah. So anyway, this is Alec and Nikki, and keep watching.